Happy Thursday, everybody. While we're home on self-quarantine, I've been trying to do some new things. So today, I'm going to try to make some English scones. Herb and I love scones, so we decided let's try some of those and see if we can pair them with some of our products. So we're going to get started today with some English scones. And as you can see, I've got my ingredients here. It's pretty easy. It's just flour, an egg, milk, sugar, butter, baking powder, and some salt. The first step is to take your flour, your sugar, baking powder, salt, and combine them all together into a bowl. Now the recipe says that you can put it in a food processor and whisk it around a couple of times, but if you don't have a food processor, you can use the old-fashioned method. Just use a whisk and combine that all together. Then you're going to take that, or if you don't have a food processor, use a hand mixer. You're going to take this and you're going to add your butter. And the next thing you're going to do is to pulse this all together so that there are no chunks of butter, but it's going to make a sandy texture. We'll see if that works. Like I said, I'm a novice. This is my first go around, so we'll see what happens. They said pulse it 7 to 10 times. I'm going to do 9 for good measure. Let's see. Nice sandy texture. Let me show you. No chunks of butter, but a nice sandy texture. We're going to take those ingredients that are in the food processor and we're going to transfer that to a larger bowl, just a mixing bowl. I learned something very interesting. American scones use cold butter, and that's the key to an American scone, but an English scone uses room temperature butter. Very interesting, and they look different when they come out too. So then you take the milk and you're going to mix your egg into that. I'm just going to whisk it around, mix it all up, and after that gets all mixed up, you're going to add that to the dry ingredients. After mixing up the egg and the milk, you should reserve a couple of tablespoons so you can use it as an egg wash on top of the scones. So I'm just going to put that in a cup. Then I am going to pour the rest of the liquid ingredients into the bowl of dry ingredients. And just use a spatula to form a rough dough. So I'm just going to mix this a few times. I don't know if you like my bowl or not, but this is Pioneer Woman. I feel like the Pioneer Woman today. So I'm just going to form a rough dough like this. After I get this rough dough formed, I'm going to lightly flour my counter, and I'm going to transfer this out onto the counter. Now comes the fun part. Now you get to get your hands dirty a little bit. So you're going to knead this dough. Just going to start kneading the dough. And you don't want to knead it too much because it makes the dough rough and it won't come out as airy and fluffy as you'd like your scones to be. So I'm not going to knead it too much more. Because next I'm going to clean up my counter and I'm going to roll the dough out and cut out my scones. My dough is all rolled out and I ended up getting a few more scones than called for. First of all, you were supposed to roll the dough so it was about 1 inch thick. Mine is not. It's probably more like a 1/2 inch thick. and my glass was probably not totally 2.5 inches, it was probably a little bit smaller. So I ended up getting, let's see, 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and a handmade one from my leftover scraps. So we'll see how that comes out. So I have 14, and I'll let you know how they come out as soon as I bake them. My oven is preheated to 425 degrees, and I'm going to cook them between 13 and 15 minutes. Now I'm going to show you how they came out. Not bad for my first go around. As you can see, nice and golden brown. Now, this is my favorite one because this is the one I made from nothing. I didn't cut it out, I just mushed it together from the scraps, and this is my favorite one. So we're going to try this one. Herb, you're going to be my taste tester. I made a little strawberry like glaze. So we're going to pair it with strawberry. This is a very easily paired with a lot of different things scone because it doesn't have any flavoring in it special. So you could use strawberry, you could use peach, you could use raspberry. Now we're going to pair it with some Easy Breezy Fusion. It's got a nice berry flavor. This is what it looks like in the glass. So what do you think?
This is really good.
Does it pair well with that?
Yes, it does. This is warm, the jam, and that really makes the scone really taste well. The scone is really light, much different than the American scones. Yes.
Yeah. And these come out looking like a biscuit.
Try it. Delicious.
Not bad for the first go around. If we can do it, you can definitely do it.